Joining me now, I have Director of Foreign Policy at the Jewish Institute for National Security of America, Jonathan Ruhe. He's here to give us his insights now. Jonathan, good morning to you. Just first, your reaction to Iran's foreign minister posting ahead of today's meeting that, Tom was just reporting on, that Iran will under no circumstances ever develop a nuclear weapon, and adding a deal is within reach, but only if diplomacy is given priority. Your response to that this morning?
My response is pretty easy. The Iranians make it easy because that's the same thing they always say through 10 years of on-off talks now. Iran operates under the fiction that they have never pursued a nuclear weapon, which international inspectors and U.S. intelligence have shown is a lie. But Iran will say, we agree with you, President Trump. We do not want a nuclear weapon. So let's negotiate over the size and extent of our nuclear enrichment program, which right now is effectively zero. So Iran is trying to see what it can get from the United States in return for basically offering the status quo.
And by the end of the day, do we have any sort of deal in place, you think?
Only if the Trump administration severely walks back the demands it's been making for more than a month now. I think the Iranians have proven, unfortunately, very adept at dragging out talks, giving the United States just enough to go on. They did that with Biden and Obama as well, because right now Iran just wants to play for time and play for concessions. But I certainly don't think what I've seen come out of the initial talks today that Iran has offered anything serious that the U.S. can go back and say, we can truly say that what Iran has offered us gets us that much closer to a deal and makes it so Trump can avoid fulfilling his threats to pivot to military action.
And we've repeatedly heard President Trump say really bad things are going to happen if no deal gets reached and we can't, reach a point of diplomacy here. If negotiations today don't work, is it time to stop giving warnings and windows? And is it third strike, you're out, and we take military action moving forward?
I think, yes, we're certainly getting to that point. Iran has learned over years now to discredit threats of imminent U.S. military action. It's the boy who cried wolf from Iran's perspective, by and large. And I think now we've seen a lot of moves by U.S. forces in the Middle East to get ready to pose as credible a military threat to Iran as we can. We saw this as in the earlier segment, the U.S. aircraft carrier now heading into the Middle East from Greece, and that's the tail end of what's been a large and, frankly impressive U.S. military buildup in the region.
Let me play some sound just from the other night and take a listen to what President Trump said during the State of the Union directly to Iran's leadership.
Some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America.
Jonathan, how effective were those previous strikes if President Trump is claiming that Iran is starting all over again with its weapons program? Because we were told that they obliterated those sites last June. So where do you think things stand in terms of their capabilities right now?
So I think Iran's ability to build a nuclear weapon is effectively on pause. It's not ended. It still retains some covert capacity and knowledge, some of which is buried by U.S. airstrikes under the ground. What's the key concern now for both the United States in the region, given our military bases, but also Israel, and to some extent is Iran's ballistic and cruise missiles and drones, which is why I think it's a welcome sign that the United States has moved F-22 combat aircraft to Israel, because that gives us a position to threaten Iran. It's effectively a third aircraft carrier in the region. It's out of range of a lot of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles that are a big problem for our forces in the Gulf. And it's also a much better defended air site with air and missile defenses than what we also have in the Gulf. So I think that sends a very timely signal to the Iranians that you, Iran, have some very serious capabilities, but we have ways to match those, avoid those, and keep going tit for tat in this buildup.
Yeah, we'll see if they get the message today and where things stand at the end of this Thursday. Jonathan Ruhe, thank you as always for waking up early and sharing your perspective with us on Morning in America.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you next time.